everybody, and welcome to Raising Vibrations. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the sun sign forecasts for the month of February. And in last month's description, I shared a little bit about the way in which the sun sign and the ascendant work together and why these solar cycles are important to watch and listen to. And in today's discussion, little opener, I'm going to be talking about something that's really, really fascinating, to be honest. It's always been a way in which we've understood astrology. And today we're going to be talking about something called a neutrino. Okay, the neutrino stream, the neutrino field, the neutrino ocean, however you wish to find it. It is the Aquarian age, in my opinion, word or terminology for the word for prana or energy or chi that we have labeled as a way to understand information and the way in which we experience this universe. So what is energy? What is the way in which we are having consciousness and the way in which we understand the spectrum of light? So neutrino and the neutrino stream or a neutrino itself is a very small particle, okay? It's actually smaller than an atom, and its mass basically penetrates through atoms. And basically what happens with a neutrino is that it contains information, okay, of everything that it passes through. So it permeates the totality of our entire reality in which we experience, and that is how we actually get to understand the astrology impacting us, how we get the planetary archetypes and how the information passes through us. Okay, it's no coincidence that in the ancient times, we would have a lot of teachings, esoteric teachings, in which the sun would be a way in which we would absorb photon energy, and we would basically have our cellular memory activated through that experience. That's why, if you notice on the internet, there's a lot of things about sun gazing or, spending a great deal of time activating yourself through the sun. The same, obviously, with plants and stuff. It's not a coincidence. And so the information that moves through our reality is this thing called the neutrino ocean, the neutrino stream. And like I said, it was prana, chi, energy, however you wish to describe it. And there's, like I said, these little small particles that are incredibly tiny. They're incredibly tiny, okay? And then in the description below, I've got some links for everybody to go and read and check this out and to educate yourself on, because it's a really, really fascinating thing to do. Science is really trying to understand this in a very deep way. And so what the neutrino does is it basically moves through the sun, and the sun permeates these neutrinos. And as it basically comes through Earth and it moves through our body, we have all the information imprinting our consciousness, imprinting our body. And this process is the way in which these planetary energies influence us, like I said. All right. And it's according to a system of knowledge, 70% of the neutrino is actually coming from the sun, and the rest of it comes from the universe in itself. And the collapsed stars permeate information. And as it moves through us, through everybody, okay, it moves through us and it basically sticks on us for information, and it moves through and carries information. And that's how we basically are evolving our consciousness, which is why I've come to understand that these sun sign forecasts are really, really powerful pieces of information to understand, because the fact that we can have the sun sign, so my sun sign Scorpio, your sun sign whatever, the sun, as it basically manifests itself and it permeates the earth, and the neutrino information goes through the sun and through your chart, it activates your consciousness, it activates your template. And this template basically reflects to you the nature of how your consciousness is evolving in this lifetime. So watching your astrology has become something so fascinating to me even more, because as it opens up this dimension of reality, we get to see how much the universe is consistently supporting us with what we have come here to evolve. And that's why, for me, understanding these sun sign forecasts and understanding them through an evolutionary cycle has brought an immense amount of wow, I really actually like this. I really actually enjoy understanding how these things are influencing us in a massive way, more so than I had in the past. So neutrinos, neutrino stream, this is how this information gets imprinted through us. And I wanted to share a picture with everybody over here. Let me just go over to the screen and you can still hear me. And on the right-hand side, you see a guy standing over there and the sun permeating the neutrinos, the information being reflected from the sun. The sun contains light. The light is obviously what we are in consciousness, and that moves through us. And there are approximately 65 billion neutrinos moving through your body every minute. So the capacity for us to actually experience these neutrinos moving through us is so incredibly large. And you can see on the left-hand side over here, the sun, neutrinos from the sun, right? It basically comes from the center of the sun and it moves through all the planetary systems and permeates through Earth. And that's how we obviously are impacted by this. And it's really, really fascinating. And like I said in the description below, there's a couple of links that you can click on to go and read more about this and see some of the experiments that science is doing at the moment to capture this. And according to the way in which they've been able to capture this, only 6% of the 65 million neutrinos has science been able to actually put it down and say, hey, we can spot these things called the ghost particle. So this is a really, really fascinating thing for us to be able to actually track the way in which our consciousness is being imprinted from the neutrino stream. And we're having this happen to us all the time. That's how the nature of the universe moves through us. And we're constantly watching this process just unfold in our way. So really fascinating stuff. All right, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this little introduction. And coming up right now is your sun sign forecasts. Hello, Gemini, and welcome to the sun sign forecast for 2017 February. Hope you're well, and I really hope that you enjoyed the introduction video on how the energies and neutrino streams influence the way that our astrology impacts us and how we can actually grow through using such a wonderful tool. Okay, so let's go ahead and have a look at the chart for you. We begin on the 2nd of February. And as always, we're looking at Pluto itself. So Pluto represents to us the unconscious evolutionary patterns that are adjusting and changing and affecting your life on a very large scale, okay? But in order to truly understand how this is operating, you really have to look back at your life in terms of at least the last 6 years and notice these patterns that would have been arising for you, and that process being very deeply connected to how this is shaping you, how you're actually shaping Gemini, okay? So Pluto's been transiting the solar 8th house for you, which is, of course, a really big deal in terms of life itself. The solar 8th house always talks about our ability to feel connected to intimacy and trust, and our ability to feel into life when it gives us situations that are never fun to deal with. Okay, the solar 8th house is all about our ability to really, really get in touch with how we intimately bond. And because loss, betrayal, and abandonment is a part of this process, is the human experience, a lot has been changing for you around loss and abandonment and betrayal. You've probably had your fair share of people that have passed away over the period of time, and maybe a lot of people have also been born into, like a lot of babies as well, and just kind of reflecting to you the deeper unconscious patterns of life's death process and its rebirth process, natural intrinsic part. So for you also, what I would say to you as well is that it does also correlate to our ability to be empowered in our lives. So I speak about this quite a lot in our forecasts, and I'll keep on reminding us. The evolutionary pattern is about your ability to feel empowered. So the way in which you're evolving yourself here is to develop a deep sense of inner security and your ability to consistently keep on creating self-sustainability, self-nourishment, and your ability to learn how to really look after yourself independently, okay? So that's the big theme for Pluto. And then how we're focusing on it on a more sort of ego level is the sun. And the sun is now transiting your 9th house of your astrological chart, okay? It's correlating to the solar 9th house. And this is all about your ability to feel what is the meaning in life, okay? How do you pursue higher truth? And it's about how do you get in touch with what is your truth. Now, this can be a difficult thing for Gemini people because the nature of Gemini is expansive, okay? It's concentric circles just expanding and expanding and expanding. And Gemini is all about gathering information. So when we're reading, we're gathering information. Now, gathering information in itself is something you would do on YouTube, you would do on Google, you look at different perspectives, and you develop your capacity to understand what these perspectives are. Yet, the question is, what is your perspective? And that's why it's difficult, because the natural nature of you is to just to look around at everything and really lose touch of what does it mean for you. So as the sun transits through your solar ninth house, these deep questions of what is your truth, okay? And because these transits influence us through the neutrino stream, what's happening to us is that we're getting an opportunity to watch where other people have got their truth, do have their sense of perspective. And you might find, if you're really sensitive to what is showing up for you right now, what that looks like, and ask the opportunities, or should I say use this opportunity to ask these questions around you to see where people's truths are being reflected and how that maybe does resonate with you or doesn't resonate with you. And by doing that, you're able to become aware of what is your truth versus what is the facts and opinions and ideas of other people, okay? So you get the interchange there, what resonates and what doesn't, okay? So that's what the sun's going to be doing, pushing this higher sense of knowledge. I would encourage you to travel. I would encourage you to use this opportunity this month to really pursue any knowledge that you find interesting, and to ask yourself, does this resonate with me? Or any of my knowledges, does it resonate with me? Okay. And to kind of just get in touch with that feeling. Now, Saturn is transiting your 7th house of the astrological chart. So we're still dealing with that archetype of relationships, and you're still growing up here in terms of what type of relationships you think are fair and not fair. Okay. So that question is still being asked for you. Now, if we go ahead and look at the transits at the moment, you'll see that on the 3rd of February, we've got Venus joining Mars in the constellation Aries. And for you, that moves into your solar 8th house, your solar 11th house. And so for you, this is going to be really much a new sense of direction around what groups you find attractive, what type of people you would like to associate yourself with, what type of ecosystem supports your sense of identity. And this is a great opportunity to just kind of be sensitive to what types of people are around you and how they are reflecting to you your truth versus just a collection of bodies that are randomly just around. Okay, so the deep empowerment process here is getting in touch with what is your truth in this process and how is this group reflecting it to you. So this is a wonderful opportunity to really get in touch with that group and how that's working for you, okay? So on the 6th of February, we've got Jupiter going retrograde, which is a big deal, okay? And there you can see that Jupiter is now retrograde. And Jupiter, of course, has been transiting your solar 5th house, which is all fun and games. And for you, when Jupiter transits your 5th house, your solar 5th house, it always brings this great opportunity to follow your dreams, your special destiny. So along with empowerment, along with the sense of what does give me meaning in life, you're getting this opportunity to really look at life through this lens, or see other people in your life and look at life where creative self-actualization is available, right? If I had to pour my heart and soul into something, it's because it gives me meaning and there's a direction. So the same question becomes available to you, Gemini. What is the sense of special destiny? What are you doing with your life that gives you that meaning of like, I'm destined to do this, or this is what I dream of every single day, or when I'm in my joy, how am I experiencing myself? So this is a great opportunity to really get in touch with that, okay? Now, because Jupiter is retrograde, this means that you're dealing a lot with looking at patterns in your life and asking yourself the question, up until now, has everything that I've formed a relationship with working. Okay. And this is where the magic is. Okay. The magic here is Pluto's in the 8th house, Saturn's in the 7th. Okay. Jupiter's in your 5th. And you've got this opportunity to say, what life direction, okay, what sense of personal identity, and what creativity and what relationships am I seeing myself through, and are they supporting me to empower myself through immense amounts of joy, and am I able to just associate with the right people? So these are the really fundamental questions you should be paying attention to as you transit through this period of time right now, okay, and as this is evolving you. So it's truly fascinating to be able to actually watch how this is unfolding for you in this way. Okay, so what else is happening for us in this month? Okay, so we've got on the 8th of February, as you can see, Mercury now moves into the constellation Aquarius, which is your solar 9th house. And because this is now moving into your solar 9th house, this is a great opportunity to begin to decondition yourself from the truth and perspectives that you once held and were supporting this idea of friends, groups, relationships, and what do I want to invest my heart into? Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of February, you begin to find inspiration in new things and say, all right, that's it. Or maybe even at the end of the Jupiter transit, which will probably be in a couple of months' time, when you find yourself going, I've got a new direction and I've got to inspire myself in new ways because I'm losing the meaning of my life here and I really got to put more into it. So that's what I feel is something that's really great here. Okay. So on the 10th of February, we've got a lunar eclipse that's happening, a full moon lunar eclipse, and that's 22 degrees Leo. And for you, this full moon lunar eclipse is really about what community, what sense of reality do I belong to that accepts me for who I am. Okay, now for anybody that hasn't been able to watch the 2017 forecast presentation that I did, just email me. It's $10 for the video. It's like an hour and a half long, I think, or an hour long. And it truly does give a lot of information about how to actually navigate through 2017. And part of that presentation is talking about it on a deeper level about these solar and lunar eclipses that are happening in February, which to me are really important. And for us, the lunar eclipse that's happening on the 10th is very much about how am I being accepted? What tribe do I belong to that I can now begin to feel as if my heart is on fire? And of course, for you guys, this is a really, really big opportunity to be connected with something that allows you to feel like you're being brought into a greater whole and accepted for who you are. So that's something to really consider. So that's happening on the 10th, and then we move over to the 14th of February, and Jupiter makes an inconjunct to Chiron, which has already been happening, to be honest. But the moon will make that aspect there. You can see there, the moon makes the aspect. And so this moon aspect really brings to us the highlighting theme of Jupiter in conjuncting Chiron, which is for you particularly, so here's my life direction. This is how I define myself. And am I creative in this process? And if it's not, then you've got your answer. This is not the direction I should need to be experiencing myself through. I need to reflect back on the deeper meaning of what brings me creativity and joy, and how am I going to consistently follow that? And it's about just becoming aware of this process. Okay, so watch the 14th of February. Things are going to come into your field that you won't expect, and that will kind of put you into a new course. And of course, on the 18th of February, we've got the sun that's moving into the constellation Pisces. And that's a beautiful experience there, because now all of a sudden we've got this sun, we've got the south node, we've got Neptune, and we've got Chiron all situated at the top there. Can you see there on the chart? There we go. And that's all about looking at your sense of identity and letting go of it, right? This is very much what the south node and Neptune and Chiron is all doing in the 10th house there for you. It's like saying you're shifting through the old. You're letting go of the old. You're letting go of the self-identity that no longer supports you anymore. And so this is just an amplification. Okay. So as the sun moves into your 10th house, you'll begin to reflect more deeply on life's direction. But that will obviously naturally manifest once the quincunx on the 14th of February had taken place. Okay, so from the 14th to the 18th, you'll begin to then become sensitive to information that will lead you on the new path. Okay. So then on the 25th of February, we've got Mercury entering Pisces. You can see there, and any time that a sign hits a new experience, you see the moon connect with it. Look there. Okay, watch this. Bang, moon moves over as Mercury enters Pisces, and it brings to us the new moon solar eclipse that happens on the 8th. Pardon me, on the 16th. The 26th. So again, if we look at this over here, we can actually see that this solar eclipse new moon that's taking place in Pisces is going to highlight to you particularly this whole entire theme that was for 2016. Okay, the dissolving of the once was your life direction, the dissolving of once was your sense of this is what my career was, or this is where I was going, and inspiring you to feel connected to the new direction that is available for you right now. And of course, that will be heavily influenced by the lunar eclipse that actually took place on the 10th, which was where do I belong? And then helping that case, of course, is Mars hitting Uranus there as well. So that's going to be a big deal for us as well. So that energy is very highly volatile. Okay, so stay away from electronics on the 26th of February. Okay. All right, my Gemini friends, thanks very much for letting me babble to you today. I really hope that you found great inspiration and understanding. And until then, take care. Bye-bye.